Hi, in the last video I spoke about the 7 things that the narcissist does to get you back, or the emotional abuser or the toxic person to get you back in, to hook you back into their life. And in this one I want to look at 7 ways or 7 things you can do to disarm the toxic person. These people are master manipulators, they're consummate actors. They put on a mask and they play a role. And I believe you saw those red flags, but you choose not to do anything about it. And those red flags were really showing you the person behind the mask, the person they really are. And some of those red flags that you saw were actually their mask dropping, because they can only hold it, they can only play that role for so long. Some of them might be completely unaware of their negative behaviour and the effect it has on other people, whereas others actually enjoy causing that chaos. These people are in families, or they're in the workplace. You might find them in your friendship circle, and they're in romantic relationships. We have 3 main fears, and one is shame, the other one is guilt, and the other one is abandonment. These people seem to have the ability to push your buttons or hone in on that wound, that shame wound or the guilt wound or the abandonment wound. And they use specific tools to bring up that fear within you, or they project their own fear onto you. Because the reality is they're actually very insecure people. They're quite hollow inside, and they've spotted something within you that they need within themselves. And they also have these wounds, these fears, the fear of guilt, the fear of shame, and it's the fear of abandonment that I believe is the biggest one for them. So what I urge you to do is start listening to your body, because your body does not lie. I talk about intuition, but you turned your intuition off because you were told you weren't understanding what was going on. You were told that you were too sensitive. Empaths see patterns. Look closely and see the patterns within your life, within your relationships, within this relationship. Number 1, breathe. You need to start listening to your body and start recognizing the patterns, because each of these individual people have their own unique set of tools, of patterns, of triggers that they will bring up within you. This will be your warning sign that something is wrong. It will be your warning sign that you need to move away. Make an excuse to leave the room or wherever you are. Go to the loo or something and breathe long, deep breaths. And when you get there, when you get to the toilet, if you can, or somewhere safe for you, try the Amy Cuddy Wonder Woman pose. Now, we all able to change our chemistry, and you might have noticed this walking into rooms with people. If you're in a really good mood and the energy in there is quite low and dense, everyone's feeling quite low, they can bring you down. And in the reverse, if you're feeling quite low and you go into a room that's got a lot of vibrancy, there's a lot of energy in there, that can bring your state up as well. We can change the chemistry within our body by standing, posing, by changing our thought patterns to happier thoughts. So change your chemistry, get away from them and change your chemistry. So I'll put a link to Amy Cuddy's video on power posing and the research that she did around it. When you're in a relationship, and that can be a work relationship as well, you might feel like you're coming under attack, and it's like being in a war zone, and you didn't sign up to go to war. Trauma can take a huge toll on your body. When you feel or hear someone starting to criticize you in any way, so it could be a parent, go to the toilet, step out of the room. It could be a co-worker that's triggering you in some way. Again, make an excuse and leave the room. If you can get outside, and during the day, maybe build a walk into a lunch hour if this is happening in your work environment, where you can just break that connection. You can get outside, or even if it is just to walk up and down the office, but just to break away, breathing deeply and disconnecting from the negativity. And number 2 is say no. It's a really simple word, but toxic people don't like it. They have no tolerance for people who have boundaries. So this could be at work, in the workplace where you're asked to take on more projects. It could be at home when you're finding someone demanding a lot of your time, or they're demanding that you go somewhere with them, or you do something with them, or you watch something with them. It might be a friend or relation that phones you up asking how you are, listening to you for a few seconds or a few minutes before launching into what's wrong in their life, what they need from you. And you find yourself in these situations when the phone call ends feeling completely drained of all of your energy. These are energy vampires. You may notice you have these feelings of overwhelm when you're with a specific person. And this is your body trying to communicate to you. If you struggle with saying no, then try and practice the sentence of, oh, let me check how that fits. Let me check what I'm doing. Let me check A, B, C, whatever it is, and see. And then you can give yourself time to work out whether you really want to do this with the person, or whether you want to set some strong boundaries. Perhaps it's at work and you need to check your deadlines for other projects. And if you're at home and the demand is demand is on your time, take your time out. Say, I'm going to have a bath. No, I'm going to read my book. If people are calling you and constantly demanding your attention, ask that they come to you. Start setting boundaries. People aren't going to like this. They are going to push against them. But just stay really strong and remember, this is for you. You really need to build your energy up and keep your energy high. And this constant demand of people pulling from you depletes you. And then you have nothing left for yourself. So number 3 is listen and observe. As you're starting to understand what a toxic relationship looks like and feels like, you can start to tune into your body again. Start listening to it. You might notice at home or even at work, when certain people aren't around, there's a calmness in the room, in the home, in the environment. Don't get caught up in the drama. And before interacting with anyone, listen to what is being said and what isn't being said. Are you being drawn into a situation where you're going to be used in some way? Are you being covertly picked on at work? Listen and observe before you react to what's going on. Maybe count to 5 or count backwards from 5. Your soul needs to understand that people can pretend to like you for their own game. This could be the lover proclaiming their love for you because it gains them more attention. Or this could be the parent demanding attention because of all the things they've done for you. It could be the colleague with their fake praise and manipulating other colleagues who fear being treated the same way. Number 4, focus on what is good for you. These relationships are all about power and control, and they want you to focus all your attention on them. But just be aware of the covert toxic people, emotionally abusive people, narcissists, whatever the label is that you want to use. Just be careful of the game that they play. They love using flying monkeys to do their work for them. They wind people up like little clockwork toys and set them off. And they sit back and they watch the person being targeted and attacked by other people. And they've done this over a period of time. They could be in it for the long game. There is something that they really enjoy about winding everybody up and seeing them attack each other. This is all about power and control. In a romantic relationship, it might be that they make you question who you are and what your beliefs are. They might doubt your dreams, create a fake future together, one that's more around their plans, what they want, than it is about yours. In the workplace, it might be your ability to challenge your ability to do something. So this might come up as a fear of maybe shame. And in a family environment, it might come up as something like you're told, oh, you've never been any good at this. These are covert manipulation tactics that are designed to keep you where they want you to be. Or the recognition that they remind you of someone. So you might see a certain behaviour and it reminds you of someone. Okay, these are the patterns. So have you heard someone say that before? Have you been treated by somebody else before in the same way? And it brings up this same emotion, this same feeling. So this is about starting to claim back your focus, because what we put out, we get back. I'm sure you didn't ask for this toxicity. There is something in this, and that is healing of this original wound. Start thinking on focusing on how you want to feel, what you want from life, and start challenging some of the statements. Are you really bad with money? Are you easily influenced by people? What are your hopes and dreams? As a little child, what did you want to do? Focus on you, your needs, and what you want. So number 5 is distance and detach. When you start to recognise the signs, and I know how hard that is, you will start to see these patterns of covert manipulation. You'll start to realise who these people are and what their game is. And you can start to create your own strategy for protecting yourself. You must never play the game, ever, because it will backfire. So you need to distance yourself and detach emotionally. Again, listening to your body and understanding the emotions that are coming up for you. It could be anger, it could be fear, it could be shame, it could be guilt, or any of the emotions on the spectrum. And if this response is around abandonment, remove yourself from the situation. The object of this game is to get a response from you. And toxic people don't care whether you're going to explode with anger or burst out crying. And they'll thrive if you gush with enthusiasm. And all they want to know is if they have the power to control you in some way. That's all they care about, who they can control and who they can't. By distancing and detaching from the situation, you're telling them that you're not playing. And for you, this is about finding your poker face, not revealing anything. Remove yourself from the situation, take long, deep breaths, and strike a pose. Number 6 is create space. This could be physical space where you can go off to meditate, or it could be a toilet cubicle. Being surrounded by toxic people affects your energy, and it's vital that you find safe space. Just being away from them for a few minutes can be enough to refocus, but you will need to create space to recharge. So think of it as a place where you plug your phone in. We're brilliant at plugging our phones in, and charging up the battery, yet we never do it for ourselves. Create a space within your home, within your environment. The space could be your bath. You might be able to, if you've got a garden, create a space within the garden, somewhere that you can just step outside and sit and recharge. Breaking that connection. So it might be going for a walk during a break or at lunchtime. Finding a park maybe to sit. Having your feet on the ground. There's nothing more joyful than hearing the laughter of children. And number 7 is strike a pose. We are all a bunch of chemicals. I want you to think of statues you see at museums. The ones that are carved out of white marble. Don't react, become a statue, become Venus de Milo. I want you to be your own goddess of love. Allow any attacks on you to be bounced back or bounced up into the universe. Be like one of the statues. It's a bit like grey rock. Grey rocks give no information. Have you ever tried to have a conversation with one of those statues in a museum? Be like that. Be that person. Take that on. Create that persona. It's like going grey rock. So being no contact. If you work with someone, it's really difficult to do no contact because you have to be with these people. If you're out of a relationship, no contact means removing yourself completely from any contact whatsoever. But in certain situations, you can't do that. So it's called going grey rock. Be as interesting as a grey rock. Look at a grey rock and try and have a conversation with it. You get nothing back from it. And that is what we're looking for. Take on that persona of a statue or of a rock. So just to recap, breathe long, deep breaths. Use the Wonder Woman pose. Number 2, say no. Give yourself time to think whether this is going to work for you. Give yourself time whether you want to attend, whether you want to do something, whether you want to take on something. Number 3, listen and observe. Listen to what's being said. Listen to what is not being said. Listen to your body. Watch what's going on. Number 4, focus on what is good for you. Look out for those covert manipulation tactics. Number 5, distance and detach. Never play a game with a toxic person. Distance yourself, detach emotionally, create space. See it as the space very similar to where you charge your mobile phones. We don't let those run out of charge. Strike a pose. Become a marble statue. Become a grey rock. The more you listen to your body, the more you will recognise something isn't right. Sending you loads and loads of love.